Okay, so today we are learning about the GCF. We've been learning how to multiply monomials and polynomials. So now we're going to do the inverse, which is factor them. Okay, factoring and multiplying polynomials are inverses, like multiplying and dividing. All factoring is division with polynomials. Okay, so we need to review what GCF is. What's GCF, you guys? Very good. It's the greatest common factor. Okay, in this case, it is the greatest monomial that all terms are divisible by. Or can be divided by. Okay, remember a monomial is a number, a variable, or a combination of the two. Okay, so any numbers or variables, they can all be divided by. So when we were multiplying, we looked at it as an area. Okay. So we're doing the same thing. This time I'm giving you the area and I'm asking you to find the length and the width. Okay. So it's going to look similar to this. We have our box. So I have 15 x squared plus 18. That is the area of those two little boxes. And I'm going to find the length and the width. Okay, so what can 15 and 18 both be divided by? 3. Then we look at the variables. I have an x squared here, but does the 18 have any x's? Nope. So I can't pull out a variable. They have to both have that same variable in order for me to divide it by that. Okay, so we just pull out the 3. Then we divide. 15x squared divided by 3 is 5x squared. And then 18 divided by 3 is 6. Okay, this right here is the GCF. This we call the leftovers. So we have our factors of 3 times 5x squared plus 6 are the factors of the original problem, the 15x squared plus 18. Because when I multiply these two together, this is my solution. The 15x squared plus 18 is my solution. Any questions over that? Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so I have negative 18 y to the 4th plus 6y cubed plus 24. So remember what to do with this, okay? It's a little special. Okay, if the first term is negative, then the GCF is negative. Okay, with polynomials, we don't like the leading coefficient, that the first number, the first term, to be negative. So if we're going to factor out the GCF, we always want to factor out a negative, so it doesn't have that first term to be negative. Okay, so I know for sure my GCF is going to be negative. I don't know anything else. Then we have to look and see what negative 18, 6, and 24 can all be divided by. 6. Okay. Then we look at the variables. Okay, I have y to the fourth, y cubed, and y squared. Okay, remember when we are dividing things with variables, we subtract the exponents. So what is the smallest amount I can take away? 2, right? Y squared. Okay. Okay, take the smallest exponent out. So in this case, it's y squared. Any questions over that? Okay, so then we divide. Negative 18 divided by negative 6y squared becomes a negative divided by negative is a positive 3. And then I subtract the exponents. So y to the fourth minus 2 is y squared. Then I divide 6 divided by negative 6 is a negative 1. And then I subtract the exponents. So y cubed minus 2 becomes just y to the first, or y. Then negative 24 divided by negative 6 is a negative 4. I subtract the exponents. That gives me y to the 0 power. What's y to the 0 power? 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so it's basically just 1 times negative 4, which is negative 4. Okay? So 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. So again, my factors are negative 6, y squared is the GCF. The leftovers are the 3y squared minus 1y minus 4. Any questions over that? We're good? Okay, next one. Okay, same idea. So I have x cubed, 5x squared, minus 22x. And what can they all be divided by? 1, okay? They don't have the greatest common factor is just 1. There's no number bigger that can go into 5, 22, and 1. So you just pull out the 1. What is the smallest amount of exponents that I can pull out? Right, I have x cubed, x squared, and x to the first. So the smallest amount is x to the first. So I can pull out 1x. Then we divide. Okay, I subtract 1 from that, and I get x squared. 5 divided by 1 is 5. And I subtract 1 from the exponent, and I get x to the first. Negative 22 divided by 1 is negative 22. I have 1 minus 1, which again gives me x to the 0 power, which is 1. And then 1 times negative 22 is just negative 22. So I get, my factors are just x times the x squared plus 5x minus 22. Any questions over that? How are we doing? Okay. Okay, you guys do the next one. It's negative 16y the sixth, 28y the fourth, and negative 20y cubed. Okay, when I pull out the negative 4 and the smallest exponent is at y cubed, this then becomes a positive 4y to the third, a negative 7y to the first, and a positive 4, and the y's become y to the 0, which is 1. Oh, plus 5. Plus the 5. So I divided wrong there. So my factors are negative 4y cubed times 4y cubed minus 7y plus 5. We're going to move. Okay, so we're going to skip a couple pages. We're now going to go past 37 to page 38. Page 38. Okay, we're looking at number 12. Turn to page 38 and go to number 12. Okay, now we have two variables. So I just want to show you how to do that with two variables. So it's 10a squared b plus 12ab squared. Okay, 10 and 12 can both be divided by 2. That's the largest number they can both be divided by. Then we look at the variables independently. So a and a. They both have a's. What's the smallest exponent? A to the first, right? A by itself is smaller than a squared. So I can just pull out a. Then we look at the b's. What's the smallest exponent? 1, b to the first. So we can just pull out 1b. Okay, they both have an a, they both have a b. They only have one that I can pull out, though, for each of them. So then I divide. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, I'm taking 1 away from the a here. So that just becomes a to the first. I take 1 of the b's away. 1 minus 1 makes that become b to the 0 power, which is 1. So it cancels out. 1 times 5a is just 5a. Then we add. 12 divided by 2 is 6. We subtract 1 from the a. That means there's a to the 0. So we don't, it's 1. And then 1 times 6 is 6. Then we subtract 1 from the b. And it's just b to the first. So my factors are 2ab times 5a plus 6b. Any questions over that? Okay, I want you guys to do numbers 13 and 14. Okay, so check your work. So we have negative 3 to the fourth plus 12x cubed minus 21x squared. Okay, the first term is negative, so we have to pull out a negative 3 for our GCF. Okay. Then my smallest x's are x squared, so I can pull out x squared. We're still struggling with how many variables to pull out. Okay, so make sure we're doing that. We subtract the exponents. We divide. 3 divided by 3 becomes a positive 1. Okay, and we subtract and we get x squared. 12 divided by negative 3 is a negative 4. I subtract the exponents and I get x to the first. Okay, 21 divided by negative 3 is a positive 7. Okay, we subtract the exponents, we get x to the 0 power. X to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so that means there's no more x's left. It's just 1 times 7. So my factors are negative 3x squared times the x squared minus 4x plus 7. Any questions over that? Okay, next one. We have 15x cubed y minus 10x squared y cubed. Okay, we struggled with this one too. We're not quite sure which variable is which. So everyone got that you could pull out a 5. They can both be divided by 5. But look at the x's. What is the smallest exponent for x? X squared, so you pull out an x squared. What is the smallest exponent for y? Y to the first, so you pull out just y. So your GCF should be 5x squared y. Any questions over that? Then we divide. 15 divided by 5 is 3. I subtract the exponents and I get x to the first. I subtract the exponents and the y becomes 1. Then 10 divided by 5 is negative 2. I subtract the x's. Okay, that becomes x to the 0, which is 1. I subtract the y's, y to the first, and I get left with y squared. So my factors, 5x squared y times 3x minus 2y squared. Any questions over that? So that's my answer. Okay. So now I'm going to have you guys do numbers 4 and 5. Okay, do these numbers 4 and 5. Try to come up with the error. So explain those errors. Very good. So when you divide that, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So your factors should be 3xy times x minus 2y plus 1. Okay, you can't drop that 1. It is a place value. It will change the whole value. So if I start with 3 terms, notice I had 3 terms at the beginning, I will have to end with 3 terms when I pull out the GCF. Any questions over that? Okay. What about the next one?
The next one, it's incorrect since you take the least exponent, which would be correct for the first one, but the next one you have to find the GCF.
Okay, so you kind of touched on it a little bit, okay, that we should be subtracting here. Yes, what do you think? What do you think?
Yes, that he is right.
Okay.
Because 3 only goes to 6, 4 only goes to 8.
Okay. What are we doing with exponents, though? When we divide things with exponents, what do we do? Yes. If I'm finding a GCF of a coefficient, I'm talking about exponents here, right? These are both exponents? Yeah. Very good. We subtract here. Okay? He's dividing exponents right now, not subtracting the exponents. Okay? So that's his error. Wendell is dividing them. Okay, so again, if we looked at 6, x to the 6th, and x to the 8th, what we are saying to do is look at the smallest amount of x's I have. Okay, what's the smallest exponent here? 6. So x to the 6th is the GCF. Because I can divide them both by x to the 6th. Because I'm subtracting exponents, not dividing exponents. Okay, so I subtract this 6 here, and I get x to the 0, which is 1. I subtract the 6 here, and I get x squared. So the GCF should be x to the 6th. Any questions over that? We're all good? Okay, do numbers 15 and 16 right now.